Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Adub Vlogs. I am here today without Dizzy. She's off doing work, so I'm going to get a little bit of a haircut. And then after that, I have an idea for a surprise for Dizzy. Yeah, we've been married for about 3 years now. We're coming up on our anniversary, and we've never had any bedside tables. So I think I want to build a couple. Just a real simple build, nothing too fancy or anything like that. So once I get my haircut done, I'm going to go into Home Depot and grab some wood. Or I think I'm going to look for some wood. Hopefully I can find it there. Normally I would go to the lumber yard to get some wood because they have nicer quality. It's a little bit cheaper there. But my car doesn't have a trailer or anything. I don't really have the ability to haul all that, any of the lumber that I would want to get for this build. So I'll see if I can find smaller pieces. Maybe I'll pay a little bit more, but it'll be worth it if I can find it. And I can just do all this in the garage because she never goes in the garage. She'll never look in there. So I can complete it without her knowing. And then maybe get a couple nice lamps to put in there and make the bedroom look all nice. So I'm excited about it. So I'm going to go get my hair cut, and then I'm going to head off and look for some wood at Home Depot. All right, haircut complete. And on to the next stop on our trip. We are going to the Home Depot. Okay, we are back from Home Depot. Got the wood back here. Yes, right there. That is the wood. Birch. I know Dizzy really loves birch. She likes, it's very pretty. Picked up some real nice stuff. And I also picked up this guy right here. This is really cool. You're gonna see how that works in a little bit. So once I get all this stuff built and everything. So let's get home, unload this stuff, and then we'll get started on measuring this out and building these things. I'm very excited. This is gonna work out good. Yeah, again, the price a little more expensive than if I had gone to the lumber yard. Just a little, like 20 bucks more expensive. That's about whatever. The price we pay for convenience and surprises, right? Very excited. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. So I had to take 3 inches off this plan in order to make it work. So right now, so it was going to be 21, but what we're going to have now is, or sorry, not 21. It was going to be 27 by 16 table. We're going to go 24 by 16 because I just don't have the wood to give us that extra amount. It'll be okay. I just measured out my first cut. I have a whole plan right here for exactly what I want to cut out. So what I'm going to do now is set the table saw in order to make this cut. So just move some things off here for a moment. And I'm realizing that this is going to be the top. Okay, this is going to be the top. So I measured this out for this one, but I just realized, silly me, this is going to be the top of the desk. So there was actually a piece of wood that I specifically chose because I thought Dizzy would really like it. Always make sure when you're building desks, especially if you're doing wood, always make sure the tops, paying attention to what you use. So I almost cut off that one. That's okay. Measured it out in pencil, of course. These are going to be the tops. These 2 pieces right here. That's what I had chosen at the store. Good save, right? Before I went through and cut anything and made any mistakes. So I'm going to measure this out and then make my cut. Okay, the old adage says, measure twice, cut once. The cool thing about this table saw, this is my grandfather's old table saw, and I'll show you, I'll bring the camera over here to show you. it sort of forces you to measure twice. So I've marked my lines and I drew it out. Let me grab the camera here. So, but I didn't really need to. So I measured my line and marked it out there, so I know exactly where I'm going to be cutting. But cool thing about this table saw, a lot of table saws have this. There we go. So there's a little guide right there. You just set it to the right measurement that you want, and basically it's like measuring for you. So it's a double measure. I've got the one that I marked out, and I have the one here that the table saw is doing for me. So I know in 2 instances if it's going to be doing it right or not. So let's get cutting. Okay, before I make my cut, I guess this is woodworking 101. So if you're an experienced woodworker, you don't need to know any of this. First, safety. Okay, so loose clothes off my body. Got my safety goggles on. Got my ear muffs here on, just to make sure that nothing's happening. Come down here and set my blade height. Okay. All right, that's both for safety, and it gives you a nicer cut. If you get a nice, very basically just there, you don't want the blade slapping against it. You just want it easily cutting through. Okay, so once I have all that done, I can look at my cut. Now I want to look at where the blade is going. I put this to 16. Put this to 16, and I'm noticing it's going to be cutting on this side of the 16. Okay, I don't want that. I want it to be 16 out. Okay. That's going to give me like 15 and 5/16, whatever the size of this blade is. So what I need to do then is move it just a little bit this way. Probably about 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, so that would have given me 15 and 7/8. That's about what I want. And I'm just going to do a little bit more just for safety. But it's looking good. It's not a big deal. You know, if it's slightly under, it's not a big deal, but it's okay. So I'm checking here, make sure that there is no, sometimes when you get it from the shop, they staple things in there, and that can mess it up. Make sure there's no staples. So I'm going to turn this thing on and go right through. Okay, so you always got to be careful about the blade at all times. Obviously, it's a spinning blade. Keeping your hands away from it at all time. If I had to get closer, I would have used a pusher. I have a couple of those, but I didn't need that this time. Another thing is, make sure it comes to a full stop before you put your hands in there. Don't want to accidentally touch that blade, even when it's spinning slowly. It's sharp and dangerous. So there is my cut. That's pretty gorgeous, actually. I think I'll let Dizzy pick which side she wants, but I think that's a really pretty cut for that side. We get this nice swoopy, she calls it a swoopy line. So Dizzy really likes the swoopies like that, so I think this is something that she's really going to like. She's going to like that striped pattern. So I'm going to set that aside. There's another beautiful piece of wood. There is a knot in there, a little bit of filling, but it's nothing. I mean, it doesn't take away from the beauty of this piece of wood. So this is going to be another top, I think. Yeah, I really like the look of both of these. It's all comes down to taste. It may not be your style, but it is mine. This one and the next one is getting cut real close. So I have this little tool right here to help me push it through nice and straight and easy. Just realized I made a mistake. It was meant to cut on the other side of this. Fortunately, I caught it a little early. There's a small cut in it right now. Hopefully it won't be too noticeable in the final piece. Yeah, I can't really afford to go back on it, unfortunately. So the part of this piece, I'll probably put it at the top and just fill it. You probably won't see it in the final piece, unless you're looking at it from the ground. That's a good reason to stay clear. So as I was cutting, this little piece right here got caught on this saw, shot out this way. That's a very good reason to stay clear of the side, because it's shoot out. Okay, last two of the big pieces, and then we have a few small braces to knock out, but that's no big deal. Okay, the bracers, they're going to go at the bottom of the top just to keep it from going back and forth. We need 4 for the bottom, 4 for the top. I think I'm going to use the last of this scrap piece to do the 4 for the bottom. It's thicker than the rest, heavier, and that's good. We want it to be bottom heavy if we can, because then it won't fall over. So bottom pieces, let's gotta do a little math here. Yeah, so they're going to be 3 inches each. So you got to set this thing to 3 inches. This isn't such a big deal since we're cutting them all at one time. It doesn't need to be exactly 3 inches, but I'm going to measure it anyways. Just and it's there. 3 inches each on these, and I'm probably going to need a pusher stick in order to get through the very last piece. Now I'm just going to do a few 2-inchers for the top, and we will be done cutting. Okay, so we have all the pieces that we need now in order to build this thing. So it's time to start getting ready to put it together. Finally, after we've done cutting everything, it's time to start with putting it all together. Now, I do have a nail gun, a little pin nailer, basically, that I could put this together with, but that would be kind of ugly. You get all these little pins in there and all sorts of, I guess, things that hold it together and things like that. It wouldn't look particularly pretty. The cool thing about wood glue is wood glue holds it together just as well as any nails. In fact, those bonds between the wood and the wood glue are going to be just as strong, if not stronger, than any nail you're going to put it into. So what I'm going to use is these. Basically just little pins, little dowels. Those are more so to put them, make sure they don't slide around once you put it in there, but then hold them in place. So, I'm going to use my drill here. This is just a little driver. You don't need any more than that to put a few holes in here. Obviously, measure everything out, make sure it's good. So what I'm going to start with is just the base, just this base area. Make sure it looks good, is all put together. And I'm going to work my way up from there. So, here we go. Okay, here's the thing about wood glue. It helps a lot if you put water on it. Okay, so I just got a cup of water here. Just gonna rub some water where I'm gonna be gluing it. What that does is that opens up all those wood grains, okay? That's what you want, okay? You want those wood grains open so the wood glue will get all in there, soak up into that wood. Okay, water opens up the wood grains. And the wood glue itself is water soluble, so that water will help permeate the glue through the wood. Okay? Just keep a cup of water nearby. You can do it with a brush. Might be a little faster. I just do it with my finger. All right. So, got the water in there. Go to town with my wood glue. Make sure you got it in those holes, nice and deep in there. Now we got this one. Just gonna run it along. I'm not even gonna bother with hammering it in. I got these trusty guys. They're huge. I don't have a lot of clamps. That's just because I haven't bought many. But these guys will do the trick. So, these I bought for doing a desk, and they're definitely pretty massive. So get this thing set to where you want it to be. Looks good to me. I'm just going to squeeze it together. And I've actually decided to hold it in a slightly different configuration. Sticking wood there. Nice big piece across there. I'm going to stick a nice big piece across here. That should keep it a lot straighter than the other way that I was going for. Okay, now that that's there, that's ready to dry. I'm just going to go through with a little scrap piece of wood. Clean up some of this glue. Most of this, you're not, basically all of it, you're not going to see, since it's going to be on the bottom. It's underneath everything, but good to clean it all up. All right, final video. I decided actually it would be better if I used its own piece, essentially, to put it on there. So that's really clamped down nice. It's not bowing out or in or anything like that right now. I have it all set like I want it. So it's gonna go, we're gonna let it dry, but it sounds like Dizzy's home.